Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's going on? Live on Two Wheels, episode 15. We are here for your week. Oh God, Bo ran to turn the AC off so you guys can have the absolute best quality audio possible. And it sounds like you broke something on the way there.
No.
You're back. So, guys, this is your weekly motorcycle live show slash podcast hosted by me, Chaseontwowheels, and my co-host, Bo.
Hello, fellers.
Fellers. It's back to me and Bo this week, ladies and gentlemen. We have no guests. We're just going to be talking topics. And today, we have a mysterious case of missing motorcycles that we're going to dig into. And we have a couple other topics that we might get to. We don't know yet. So, if before we get to that, though, we've got to handle some business. First, if you're watching this live, what up, fam? How y'all doing?
Yeah, thank you.
Make sure to hit that like button, guys. It is super helpful for this video to do well, and we want it to do well because we want to make more of them for you. If you are one of the people listening to this excellent podcast... because it is a podcast after the live show.
That's not a lie.
It's available on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify.
Every time you say
as long as that's one of those is your favorite podcast platforms. If you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, it would be a huge, solid, and high five to us if you guys could leave us a review. We would love you super long time. Like, super long time. I think that's it, right? That's our things we have to get out of here. And
so we're
I see your finger going close to that, going close to the sound effect button.
What are you talking about now?
That scares me.
So housekeeping?
Yes, housekeeping. Busy week this week. We had a lot of videos come out. We're gonna have and we're still working on it. First ride. It's gonna come out tomorrow. To
be fair, that's not my fault.
Slight change.
Okay.
Today's episode, new sponsor. Technically, we are technically sponsored by Revzilla today, ladies and gentlemen. There's a link down below. Oh, there's a lot of stuff we got to talk about that I'm just going to breeze over. All right, so the way Revzilla is sponsoring this episode is with our affiliate link. So if you guys are using Revzilla to purchase gear, whether it be a helmet, gloves, tools off of Revzilla, you guys go in the description of this podcast, here on YouTube at least, and use that link. And if you use that link, it doesn't cost you guys anything, but it super helps the show out. So if you guys could do that, we would love you long time. Revzilla, the hosts of the high side, low side show.
I feel like they're. What game are they playing here? They're gonna try to destroy us from within. Like, how dare you?
If you guys don't know, Revzilla has a podcast. I think they're like the #1 podcast on motorcycle podcast. I think they are. They have high side, low side. It's a phenomenal podcast. Highly recommend it.
Yes.
Our goal is to not be better than them. Our goal is to be right under them. Hashtag #2 motorcycle podcast. That's what we're going for, ladies and gentlemen. Also, fun stuff that we get to talk about. We now have a Discord server just for Live on Two Wheels. For you guys that are watching the show or listening to the show, if you guys don't know, Discord is basically just a giant chat room with channels. We created a channel on our Discord for Live on Two Wheels. We have a link in the description. You guys can go there. We'll be posting in there periodically throughout the week. And then, we'll be reminding you guys what show titles, and maybe we can get some topics from them.
Yeah, I'm going to break in. And
break in.
And
as the technical supervisor, please break in.
Discuss very briefly this Discord, because we've had this Discord for a while.
We have. So
we went through a beta. So it's weird because it was very active for a while, because we were testing out when I first started, using that as kind of an interaction. Mm-hmm. My role has since then changed.
That was your original job here. Yeah.
And I was on there every day, and I was doing all sorts of stuff. But position has since changed
slightly.
But we've treated Discord as beta for a while.
Yeah.
And
because we didn't know really where it belonged in our workflow.
Well, and it's no secret we're working on our own website and stuff like that.
Right.
And so Discord is going to be integrated into that
heavily. It's going to actually have a big role.
So we are going to start the two of us specifically are going to start like powwowing ways to use and clean up and get functioning Discord as like a full release, and that's what we're going to be leading up to. So the channel is there, it's active, it's open, and you can discuss things if you've got questions. I mean, feel free to put them in the chat. Moto Marvelous with the donation for the chief donation. Thank you.
We're still working,
but
guys,
you can do stuff like you can put stuff in the chat, or you can go into the Live on Two Wheels, and that stuff can be curated over a week.
Right.
Time.
The Live on Two Wheels Discord is something that's always going to be there. There's always going to be a conversation going, whereas the conversation here in the chat with you guys on the live show is going to exist on this show only. So, like Bo said, we've been trying to figure out Discord, and our Wreck Bike Rebuilds.
We should once we get it done, we should make a video.
Yeah, we'll totally do something that we can like place into here so these guys can
or something like that, and like say, hey, look, this is now it's.
I just don't want to do that until we actually have it nailed down, because we've been kind of bad about Discord. But we're starting our
but
start
that
here.
particular channel is up and running. Everybody that was already on the server,
right,
and a member, and all a member is when you get into our Discord, at the top there'll be a welcome page, and it'll give you instructions to get signed up. It doesn't cost anything. There's no paywall, but
right. Totally free.
Once you accept the terms of service, which is just our rules for it, then you have access to all the other stuff. There is a category labeled L2W and a channel called Live on Two Wheels.
Yep, absolutely. And just I see Charles asking a question in the chat. Charles, I am not upset with you about the bars in the Brian's video. That has been something we've been fighting with. We're not mad about it. It's one of those videos where we filmed it. If you guys don't know, if you haven't seen on the channel today, we put out a BTV video, Brian installing a rear set on a Panigale V2. Super good video. It's doing good. But we're having like light problems with certain cameras. We haven't got them dialed in yet, so we're having a little light problem. It's not a big deal. We'll get it figured out. Not
Those
worried about it.
bars are the bane of our existence in this
Right,
place.
absolutely. So
anything else for house cleaning?
I don't think so. So it's
Oh, are you sure?
Wait.
You wanted to talk about
Wait, what's that?
that HD.
The HD.
Yeah.
Harley.
You wanted to mention that.
I don't understand. Continue. We'll see where this goes.
Harley-Davidson.
Which one?
You-
Oh yeah. Got it.
Oh my
I'm
God!
Sorry.
We
sorry,
talked about that
sorry,
5
sorry.
seconds before we went
Also,
live.
okay, no, you're right. You're right. So guys, we have.
And I'm the one that's medicated
I
right
know.
now.
Right. At least you're on your way to getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
So guys, we have historic news. News that we never thought would happen on this show. We got an email, not from a PR company that represents Harley-Davidson. We got an email from a PR guy at Harley-Davidson. Because if you guys don't know, sometimes OEMs will like hire out the work, like especially media relations work to other companies. But Harley has their own PR team. They reached out and asked if we would be interested in doing future videos with them. Yes, claps. Claps in the chat, guys. So if you guys are, maybe this is your first live show, you might not have, seen our previous live shows. Maybe you're not up to date with the way I typically talk about Harley-Davidson, but I do give Harley a decent amount of crap. A lot of the crap I give them is based on the dealership experience.
Yeah,
dealership experience that I've received personally.
Have you ever ridden a Harley?
No.
Okay.
And that's going to be a great video whenever that happens. But they actually reached out. They said, hey, would you be interested in doing press launches and videos with us? And I was like, absolutely. Because, like, I'm going to give crap to where crap is due. Suzuki, Harley, whoever needs it. But I'm also going to be honest. So, like, if I go out and do a press launch, if a bike is good, like if I had gone to the Pan America and it happened to be good, bro, I would have said it's good. So I just wanted to let everybody know I'm super impressed, honestly. I always say that, like, that's the smartest PR move.
Yeah.
Is to take somebody that's very critical about your stuff, and if you really believe in your product and you can flip that person, bro, how much better of a PR move is that?
They have a slight advantage here in that you've never shit talked the brand itself, like the actual bike or anything like that. It's always been your experience.
See, that's true. It's always been dealerships or the people that I've dealt with that were Harley riders.
So they have an upper hand in this, because if one thing I can say about Harley-Davidson, I'm a big fan of Harley-Davidson. One of my favorite bikes is both the glides, the Street Glide and the Road Glide.
Right.
I still think the Road Glide is like the best looking bagger on the market. I like Harleys, but when you deal with people who are into Harleys, it can get kind of dicey. When you go to a dealership and you look like me, you might get a different response than you. Like, I come in like full dirtbag mode, and I'm everybody's best friend. You come in, and they're gonna be like,
"Yeah, I look
look
like
tight ass jeans."
Hey man, I like my tight ass jeans. All right.
So it's like they have an advantage to go like, okay, we know that the bike is gonna be good,
right,
or at least up to par with what you'd expect in the market. So like, we can grab this guy and be like, yeah, you had a bad experience, but like, let's make that better. I think it's brilliant.
And then it leans into what they like, their whole part of it, right? Like, Harley is there to build motorcycles, obviously, and to build a brand. They can't really help how people that they built the brand around do. Yeah. And we're gonna get into some more Harley stuff later.
Because like, you think about the Pan America new motor, and the press launches for that were a different breed than what they've normally done when they're inviting people out, like YouTubers and stuff. So like, I think they got the freaking memo when Indian came out swinging.
Yeah, I think Harley's being impressed by Indian, but that's another topic. We'll get to it another time.
Yep.
So let's get into these missing motorcycles. I don't think I'm gonna shock anybody, but COVID-19 hit the world, and we, especially us in the shop, and we'll get into the build issues that we've been dealing with, because that video hasn't come out yet, right? That's next week. My sit down, talk to camera thing. No, that's not live on YouTube yet. So we have a video coming out talking about a lot of the issues that we've been dealing with on our Wreck Bike Rebuild show, the show where we wreck bike, turned in a dream bike, we give it away. Patreon.com/Chaseontwowheels. Easy plug. Nailed it. So I have a video coming out where like I kind of dive into the detailed issues that we've been having. And I know we've seen comments from you guys saying like, why are there no motorcycles in dealerships? Why do used motorcycles cost so damn much right now? And why is it so hard to find parts? Because what we're dealing with right now are the like late implications of COVID-19. Because COVID-19 happens, everybody, goes inside and tries to stay safe and everything. And immediately there's that issue, right? People aren't outside, so they can't go to their job, they can't do work. But I think it's just now we're seeing the backlogged issue of like, during that time people weren't working, they weren't producing products. Once those products get produced, they go through another step and another step and another step. And now we're like a year and some months past, and now is when we're seeing all these products not here. Now, like when we're going to buy stuff, it's sold out everywhere. Or
we had a double dip too, because it was like when people saw that there was issues with shipping, then people were like, "Oh, I better order more, so I don't have to wait." And then so on the back end, it's like, okay, not only is it we have high demand, but now we're oversaturated in demand, and that makes the delivery process even slower.
Yeah, it's a true nightmare.
The TP all over again.
Oh no, the TP's gone. Yeah, so like we're now seeing the implications of all those people not going to work for months, and on top of that, like that's an issue in its own, like by itself. That's that'll cause all types of problems. And then I read this story the other day on Revzilla's, what's it called? Common Thread? Is there like articles thing?
Yeah.
So supposedly, and I've heard this from the Yamaha guy when I've done these press launches and talked. Oh God.
Somebody's like, was that the garbage truck talking?
It was the garbage truck talk. You know the garbage truck talk. Good man. You guys are a true fan if you know garbage truck talk. That's gonna make no sense for people that haven't. You'll have to go back and watch a couple episodes back if you don't know garbage truck talk. So I've talked to my Yamaha guy, and because we typically almost always have a Yamaha bike in the shop. Yamaha is literally like 3 miles down the road. Very privileged. So actually, fun fact, we're gonna have an MT-07 on Monday. I don't know if I can say that.
Uh-oh.
I can probably.
It's too late now.
I'm gonna get in trouble again. Ooh, sorry. Hopefully I don't get in trouble again. Anyway, so the Yamaha guy has told me, he's like, yeah, we're waiting on a shipment, and he's been saying that for a while, and things are starting to make sense now because I read this article the other day. You guys probably remember hearing news stories about a ship that was going through the Suez Canal. Suez Canal, whatever. The ship was going through this canal upwards, right? And whatever happened, it does a drift sideways and
Austin Powers itself.
Yeah, it just goes skrr, and it blocked the whole canal. So supposedly this canal is a main shipping canal. Like ships are going through there all the time. And we're not talking like boats. We're talking like those ships with like 18 thousand
container freight style.
If I read correctly, this ship had 18,000 shipping containers. You guys think about how big a shipping container is. The ship had 18,000 of those. So this ship tries to do a drift, gets stuck, and then so you would think, oh, it got stuck.
Quickly,
it got stuck for a couple of days.
Oh God! You know how when you look at that picture of that boat, you see like 4 or 5 stacked up high.
Yeah.
What you don't see is like the 7 or 8 stacked all the way down.
Oh my goodness!
That whole
so
thing.
There's even more than it looks like.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, sorry.
Hooey. Anyway, okay, so you would think in your head, you're hearing this story, and you're like, oh, the ship got sideways, so obviously all the stuff on it got delayed the amount of days that it took to get unstuck, right?
No, Jack.
So, y'all, not only did the ship get stuck, but the port authorities confiscated the ship after it was unstuck. They took that bitch to Egypt, and now they are not letting that ship go until the shipping company pays what was the article, like $500 million?
Something like that, yeah.
No, I think it was like $750 million. Because 300 million of it was.
I think after like a quarter of
just numbers just don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Once it goes over what is it, 500,000 or 500 million? Oh my God, 500 million! Can you imagine? Can you imagine that kind of money?
All the time.
I deal with that all the time. No biggie. So guys, what happened was port authorities took the ship, they confiscated it, and they will not let the ship go until the shipping company pays the fines or whatever it is to let the ship go. Part of what they won't let go on the ship is not only the ship itself, but all of the containers that are on the ship. So, guess what 2 motorcycle manufacturers have cargo containers full of motorcycles that are stuck in Egypt that can't go anywhere.
Nice.
Ducati and Yamaha. This was so bad that Yamaha's CEO, the biggest dude at the place, the boss at Yamaha, had to make a press release apologizing for the motorcycles not being delivered.
Nice.
So the reason I bring this up is because you guys know I work with Mountain Motorsports a lot to do our first rides. And, bro, honestly, since the MT-07s and 09s got updated, I have seen one MT-07 at Mountain Motorsports. That's it. I have not seen a single other one. You're talking about, by far, the biggest motorcycle dealer in Georgia and probably in the surrounding states. Mountain is huge.
Yeah.
And we have not seen but one MT-07, the brand new model when they changed. It has been gross to see this.
So when you say that out loud, the first thing that came to mind would be like, well, the used market's going to get fucked.
It fucked in what do you mean fucked though?
Like everybody's going to be like, well, I want a bike a Yamaha. They don't have the new ones, but
So I'm going to get a used one.
you need a used one or a previous year model.
Right.
But since the dealerships don't have any new product coming in, what does that do to prices? And what does that do to the buyer, like the person-to-person market?
So used bikes are another whole interesting thing. And before we go down the used path, I thought that was the end of this story. But that only makes sense for the specific Ducatis and the specific Yamahas that are on the ship, right? Well, you might be asking yourself, what about everything else? All the car market, the car market, the exact same thing is happening. Do you know why? Because that COVID-19 thing, you would think it would just be like the people that couldn't go into work at Yamaha to build the MT-07s, right?
Right.
No, my guy. All the people that were working at whatever factories that make tiny rubber gaskets, they didn't go to work. You have all of these, I'm sure it's all over the industries.
Well, yeah.
But all the automotive stuff, bro, if Ducati can't get a single gasket that they need.
Not just that, dude. Think about this. Semiconductors, that whole crap right now, like all these bikes with like crazy electronics and stuff.
Which is every major motorcycle brand right now.
Right.
Has a series. Yeah. So.
Because you got everything from like IMUs to like the ECU to like even the dashes like have their own chipsets.
Bro, you could boil this all the way down to a valve stem.
Wow.
So you could have, and I read an article somewhere and I forgot to save it. You have motorcycles, like an entire line. So just for instance, MT-07. It's not the MT-07, it's just the first bike I can think of. You have entire bike lines that are not able to be produced right now because there is a rubber gasket that the company that you guys have to think, like when Yamaha's buying rubber gaskets for a motorcycle line, they're buying a ton. So if they can't buy that specific type of gasket, they have to wait. So you have this entire world trying to catch up. It's like this little wave situation. So that's why used cars right now are expensive as hell, because dealerships are wanting units in the dealership. They can't get the new units, so they're paying a premium for the new or for the used units that are
Don't
out in the world.
dealerships also have to pay for stock they have? Like, isn't there like some sort of like fee for like having
the way I kind of understand it? Because like, let me tell you, like just in the
because at a certain point it becomes too expensive to hold on to a motorcycle, a used motorcycle.
So like they can't though.
Yeah.
Like they're like, so the way I kind of understand it is, I don't know if it's all dealerships, but some dealerships run in a way of, like if we walk into Mountain Motorsports, you see that beautiful Ducati section. They don't own any of those Ducatis. Right. They are essentially renting those Ducatis, and when they sell them, they make a profit, and then they send the rest to the motherland, right? So like for every month that motorcycle sits on the dealership, it costs. It's like they're renting it. So every month they have to pay for it. So that's why they're incentivized to sell them so quickly. But right now they can't get any used ones. I don't know. You weren't on the first ride the other day. Bro, Mountain's Ducati section is typically just a sea of red. It is getting less and less every single time I go up there to do a first ride. If I
recall correctly, I heard one of the dudes up there talking about how to hold even used bikes in the dealership, like they have a certain overhead cost for keeping machines, period. Just under their roof.
Yes.
And so it's like the more
like they have to pay Ducati to hold Ducati bikes.
Well, I'm talking about like if I recall correctly, he was talking about just in general, like building code for a dealership is like the more items you have in there, the more it's going to cost you because you have to have.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I had to look into it, but I'm pretty sure I recall it. So like even their old like used section is costing them, everything there is costing them some sort of money.
Yeah.
To just sit there. So like, what do you do? Because then the only option they have is try to get rid of it as fast as possible. That means lowering the price, but at a certain point, they're going to be eating that cost.
Like so right now,
and it doesn't make sense for them to do that when like the market is going up.
Yeah, they can't keep stuff in stock. Like they are cycling through used stuff so fast, which I don't know if you guys are fans of the First Ride series, you might notice that we've been doing a lot of used bikes lately because Mountain is cycling through used bikes so fast. I'm seeing bikes I've never seen before.
Ray just said it's inventory tax.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Inventory tax.
I knew that I'd heard him talk about it.
But like, so the reason we've been doing so many used bikes lately is because, like, bro,
they have.
I mean, they have other stuff, but like, such cool stuff is coming through the used department right now that I'm like, they'll eventually have brand new stuff, right? They're a major dealer. They're gonna get more Panigale V2s. Yeah. But like when a BMW GS comes through or an R9T, but the problem is if we can't film that motorcycle that day, bro, they got an R6 on trade in one day.
No, I remember you got that call in the.
They text me at lunchtime. Like Patrick texted me at lunchtime. He texted me a photo, a blue R6, and I was like, oh hell yes, let's go. And I literally told him, bro, we will be there tomorrow to do a video on that. He texted me at 5 o'clock, and it was gone. 5 hours. The bike, think about it though. Mountain didn't take that in on trade and then it go on the floor. They took it in on trade.
Somebody
right?
heard about
they
it.
They did all the paperwork. They took it to the back. It went through a brief check by a technician. Then it was probably on the floor for an hour.
This is some guy in a tent.
Just wait. And that tent in the front.
It's got nothing but like R6 swag on.
Right. He's like,
waiting.
I'm just going to sit here and wait for this R6 to show up. Oh my God. That's probably exactly
I mean, it's nuts all over, right? It's like you really don't think about how many things are involved in the manufacturing of anything. But when you think about a motorcycle as opposed to a car, like there's just by virtue less moving parts.
Right.
It's a smaller, so there's less volume of parts. But like the amount of electronics and stuff, and all of like somebody was saying like they bet the MT-07 is they're waiting on the headlight because they can't seem to get it anywhere. Like that's what he's hearing about what's delaying it.
It can literally be one item.
One item. So
and
like
it ruins it.
If like the gasket.
The headlight's a major item, but think of it if it's a gasket for the radiator.
Yeah.
Or not radiator, but like a clutch cover.
Yeah.
A literal piece of rubber is going to stop an entire line of motorcycles.
Man. It's like it's crazy to think.
Well, so
about
like
that.
we knew that was probably going to come, like this whole like hard to get parts. And
that's why I want an American bike.
Yeah,
it probably gets their stuff from other countries.
Yeah, they sure as hell do. But you guys we're like elbow deep in this CBR 1000 build, and honestly, we got to the point where we're at the point right now where me and Brian were trying to decide if we were going to get the frame and the swing arm painted or powder coated, right? And just spoiler alert, we went with painted. And the main reason we went with painted was because I asked Brian, I was like, do we have to remove the bearings in the swing arm if it gets painted and if it's get powder coated? He said we can leave them in to get painted, and to get powder coated because of the heat, we'd have to remove them. Yeah. We literally made a build choice
because of the shipping,
because of the shipping of bearings. Because I've looked on the OEM websites.
Yeah,
they say 6 to 8 weeks lead time to find out how long it's going to take for them to come in.
So that's just like, hey, you sit around and wait for us to tell you how much longer to wait.
Yes. and for a team of guys who we're trying to put out weekly content, like it has ruined this weekly content thing. Luckily, the people that support us over on Patreon like totally understand. I made a post over there just being like, guys, I'm at my wit's end. I've tried so hard and I can't do anything because I can't get parts. It's and there's
we played this game a couple of times with these builds over the last year.
Yeah,
we've had a couple of moments where it's like we've gotten a thing, and then we were like, we received a package, and we opened it up, and like, when the fuck did we order this? And it's like, oh yeah, that was like 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's happened multiple times. This build, where like a package will come in, and for right now, it's a shit show because of all the CBRs we're doing. Because it's like this fits a CBR from 2008. I was like, well, shit, we got 2 of those.
We're gonna have PTSD from this season.
We are. Ringback Rebull gonna go.
I don't ever want to see a CBR the rest of my life.
I know. I'm never doing a first. I'm trying to get all the CBs and CBRs first right now.
The CB's okay.
Yeah, the CB is okay.
It's different.
So yeah, guys, if you're in the market right now for a used bike or a used car, you are going to pay so much money.
Yeah.
Side note, if you're ever looking to sell your vehicle, bro, right now,
there is a buyer's market everywhere.
So I have a buddy who 2 months ago bought a Jeep Wrangler for, it was either 28 grand or 38 grand. And he sold it back to the dealership after driving it for 2 months for a profit of $4,000.
There's a glitch in the matrix there.
It's insane right now, guys.
The offers that we're getting on our house right now are getting stupid.
Well, you know what to do. Move on out to the shop, baby.
Bro, if I could get my wife to like not do like city living, I'd be on it in a second. I'd be like,
yeah,
screw this place. We're out of here.
I get that. So yeah, guys, the world's crazy right now. Doing projects on automotive vehicles arguably has never been harder than it is right now.
Yeah, unless you do all the fab stuff yourself,
which we've done a lot of that.
We've done some,
but there's only so much you can do.
Well, what I'm talking about is like when you go to when you look at boutique builders, like say they still have to wait on some things.
Right.
Generally, they have stock. Because that's all they do is like they're like people. I'm talking about people that build the frame, and like boutique builders.
Boutique. Like a long B.
Yeah. But like us, where this is like
one of the shows we're doing.
Yeah.
Like one of 4.
We do one a year.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not for now. If we do one a year,
Asterisk.
Yeah.
Asterisk. Never again.
Never again. We do one a year, so it's not something that we're like constantly churning out. So we're falling into the same trap that like Joe Schmo might be running into when he's like working on fixing up his 240 or something like that.
Right. Yeah, we're on everyday man status now. So yeah, guys, that's the case of the missing Yamahas and Ducatis. I thought that was super interesting to kind of like think about and dive into, and it kind of just makes sense with all the craziness that's going on.
It was pretty eye-opening when I was reading through that article. I was like, this is, you don't think about how far-reaching it is.
You don't think of how many steps it takes to, like, at the end of the day, you get a motorcycle.
There's a lot of hands in that pot.
There's a lot of hands, a lot of companies, a lot of distance traveled. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we are going to move on to our topic number 2.
We don't have an ad. So.
We don't have an ad. Yay. I mean, go shop at Revzilla. We love Revzilla, and use our affiliate code if you do. That's our ad.
Oh, and we're still. By the way, since just to be clear, like we're not using Tonnit because they're not sponsoring this episode.
Right.
So, but we still are using the hashtag L2W.
L2W is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter where it is, as long as that platform can archive hashtags, you will be able to see it.
Right.
But we're still going to be picking a winner.
Yes, absolutely.
So, if you haven't already, the link is in the description for the Live on Two Wheels Discord.
Yes.
You can ask questions in there if it relates to this, or
even if it doesn't. And please make bow beams; those are my absolute favorite.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm on like fume status right now. So
we didn't even tell them what we do at the end of the show. We totally forgot that because typically we do it in the ad 3. So, guys, what we do is at the end of the show, we pick somebody that uses the hashtag L2W, or in this case, if you post at all in the Live on Two Wheels Discord, we pick somebody at the end of the show who asked a question, showed a photo, said anything, any type of interaction. We pick somebody, give you a $50 Revzilla gift card. It makes a lot of sense now with the Revzilla gift card since we're really
generally
pushing.
speaking, you make us laugh. We're going to give you something.
Yeah. The bigger we laugh, the better. So make sure to use that hashtag, or just use jump over there on Live on Two Wheels on Discord. And also the Discord is kind of cool because right now we get to chat with everybody.
Yeah.
But it kind of ends, right? We don't get to see you guys for another week, but the Discord gets to live on the entire week, so we can jump in.
I have it set up to where once you're in there, you can see all the messages, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like you'll be able to keep up with what's going on,
which is kind of cool. But the way I see it working is the Discord is basically what this live chat is right now, but. Yeah. When we go live on Thursdays, I would love to have the Discord just get real quiet and everybody come over to the live show, do all the commenting, and then when we're offline, because we're only online for like an hour, potentially longer coming forward. But then everybody goes back into the Discord and like hangs out. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, so go use those things because we are still giving away free shit. So
Always. Article 2, you ready? You ready to do this?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna try to be as nice as I can, given the information that I told.
So this is like a double fuck you because it's a brand you don't like for your specific reasons, and a technology that you're really particular about.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
curb your enthusiasm.
Okay. So we've all heard of the Harley-Davidson, or the previously known as the Harley-Davidson Livewire. Everybody know it's Harley's one electric motorcycle that they made up. It's a pretty interesting, cool looking bike. I appreciate that. We don't have a lot of companies doing this. So I'm, if you guys don't know, super quick history lesson. I think in the shop, it's safe to say that I am the most for the electrification of vehicles.
I would say that's not an appropriate way to say. I'd say you're the most invested.
Okay.
We all are equally
enthusiastic,
aside from maybe Brian,
right?
Because it's like he's got a little bit of the old school in him, making noise and
a little bit. You're so
making
sweet.
splodies,
right?
But like
making splode that T-shirt, making splodies.
Yep.
Somebody go on the Discord and remind us about making splodies because that would be the funniest T-shirt.
So like we're all, I think, equally on board.
Right.
It's just you're much more invested in the technology as far as like personally.
Yeah, no, 100%. I absolutely love it. And I've told the guys before, I'm about 95% sure my wife and I's next vehicle is going to be electric. The MT-10 is probably going to be my last gas vehicle. Period. Anyway, so Harley-Davidson's got this Livewire, and I read an article that Harley-Davidson is going to be splitting Livewire off into its own brand.
Smart.
Is it? You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
There's two things that I think killed them from the word go, and that is
killed who?
Livewire.
Okay.
And that is one, they didn't start off with it being a separate brand.
Oh, you think it should have started off?
You attach that HD badge to it. Mm-hmm. It's got a connotation that comes with it and an expectation that comes with that established American V-twin brand.
Right.
And when they came out, they were behind on technology, and the design is great. It looks awesome, I think.
It's got a cool look. I'll give you that. Yeah, absolutely.
The tech that's involved on like the UX side of it, good. It's much better than any Harley that you'll see. Like the screen, all of that stuff, fantastic. But like they should have held off or invested a little bit more money into the battery technology and stuff like that, and made sure that it's up on par and started out as their own separate brand under the umbrella of Harley, but with no Harley attached to it.
Well, so the issue, as the article, and guys, all the stuff we're talking about, we have links in the description, so if you guys want to go read them for yourselves, none of them are really that long. So the problem with the Harley stuff, though, is Harley's done this before. Buell, MV Agusta, Alta, like the electric supermoto stuff. Harley's done this little side brand stuff before, and they have failed every single time. So being the guy who's really excited about electrification of vehicles, I'm like, I get it in one point, right? Because we were talking about this today on the way to the fiberglass guy. Harley people are going to be the last fighters in the, okay, cool, let's go to electrification of vehicles. Like, these guys are used to, these guys and girls are used to this, like, and everything's just shaking. Brian and I were joking
I wish that YouTube had a clip feature, because you doing that is probably my favorite thing I've ever seen.
But, like, bro, the only way you're going to get somebody that is used to a Harley to ride an electric Harley is to put a vibrator and a freaking sound system that sounds like a motor inside of that and make it shake really hard.
Yeah.
That's the only way they're going to ride an electric motorcycle. It is the last group of people that are going to accept that type of technology. I would, because you're going to get the super sport guys.
Somebody said it. They're like, it pissed off the boomers because it's like, this ain't a Harley.
Right, but like, so the super sport guys, you would think it's the super sport guys, right? Because like they want that loud, that sound, but you're going to get them on electric performance. Because it's like, hey, yeah, you can have your sound, but this motorcycle over here is going to go 3 times fast as yours.
It's never the young people in that you would think that are the ones like most of them will ride whatever you put underneath them because it's as long as it performs the way it needs to.
Right.
Like that's what they care about. And like there of course every person is going to be biased towards one brand or another, but like the aged Harley rider, the one that's been locked in since they were 15 and now they're 50 and they've been riding their whole life, like those guys are like Harley purists. That's the only bike that ever is a motorcycle to them.
Yeah.
And it has to be, you know, a big V-twin, loud, you know, shaking the shit out of you.
Right.
Like you can see it in the comments of the Revolution Max motor, like some of the old Harley guys, I don't know, Harley engine.
Right.
Like technically, the only Harley that is still a true Harley right now is like the Sportster line. Right. Everything else
is just something new that they've done.
It's something new, like the even the Milwaukee 8, which is the new platform they do most of the bikes on. I think it's like a hydraulically assisted valve thing and all that stuff. So it's not. I don't know. It's like the head is cooled, if I recall correctly. So it's not a big, you know, V-twin air-cooled Harley. Right. So it's the purest of them are never going to.
Bro, I literally told Brian today, like, the only way that Harley is going to sell an electric motorcycle is to wait for those people to die.
Yeah.
Like, you're 100%. Not going to convince them.
Yeah.
So they're splitting off Livewire, which arguably that's a great name for a company.
That's somebody who said that. I was like, I think it's an awesome name. It sounds great. And
it totally makes sense. But here's something that I'm reading this article and I'm like, oh, I'm sold on it, right? It's like, okay, cool, this makes sense. You know, there's the worry that, hey, you guys have tried this like 3 or 4 times and it's always failed. So like, how are we going to change the strategy here? But in the article, the CEO or something like that of Harley-Davidson, he said that the Livewire company is going to be advancing electric technology, and Harley-Davidson is going to use that in their future electric motorcycles.
So I think that I think they're doing what you said. I think that they're breaking the Livewire off and letting that be its own thing.
Right.
And I will say the newest CEO for Harley is the one who's making decisions that are working in their favor.
Right.
Like scrapping a whole bunch of crap that the previous CEO threw like 30 different ideas at a board.
Right.
And he said, screw that.
Or they released like 5 different models. And we're going to make all these right now.
It's like they wanted to put their fingers in every pie they could. And so he was like, no, let's focus on the Revolution Max. Let's focus on the Pan America as a platform to show off this engine.
Right.
Pretty sure that engine is going to go into a lot of that. I think that engine is going to go into the Sportster line.
Well, we're watching Motorcycle Brand. All the manufacturers doing that.
So
they're focusing
doing
on engines and then diversifying them out.
So the Pan America was just a platform to show off their new technology.
Right. That's in a brand new thing that's
right.
flashy and it's going to get.
So the new CEO is making good moves to try to bring them up.
Right.
He's the one that put in place the new marketing plan that includes reaching out to like content creators and stuff like that. It
might have been his fault that somebody emailed us.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. So like he's making good you know, plan of action for bringing the brand back.
Right.
And being less of a lifestyle brand and being more of a motorcycle brand like it used to be. Because like I said it earlier, they used to be the leader in innovation, engineering innovation. And then they stopped doing that and R&D money went to like design and lifestyle.
Right.
And they don't make that many leaps.
Right.
But like he can push this Livewire off onto its own brand
and push it on its own.
And then like people that are into that are going to be into that.
Right.
And then in like 10 years time, when all the dentists and doctors and lawyers and
We're not making stereotypes.
no,
But we're making
when they all
stereotypes.
die off,
Right.
then they can be like, all right, let's put it in a middleweight cruiser.
Right, but my thing is, so for you guys that haven't really looked into the Livewire, my big problem with it is in the electric motorcycle market, we have Zero doing great stuff, and the numbers for the Livewire as far as range and speed and everything, Harley's stats are lower and they charge more for it. So when you break off away from that Harley-Davidson name, that was the only thing that you had to charge a lot of. So I'm very interested to see what they do with the Livewire stuff. When Harley said that they were making an electric bike, I think my jaw like dropped because I'm like, you guys were the last group of people that I thought were going to make an electric bike, because your brand, and the people that support it are the opposite of what an electric bike fan is going to be. Am I off with that?
I mean,
because think of what Harley does. You would not think a company like that would make an electric motorcycle. So I was shocked when the Livewire even came out.
Well, so you look at the bikes that they've really been pushing the last 3-4 years, and it's a lot of middleweight, mid-controlled, like Dynabro style motorcycles, like the Street Bob, the all of those that platform that's on that new Softail, up until you get into the more heritage style and more classic and deluxe styles, all of them have a very distinct demographic of 18 to 35.
Yeah, that's the
that
gold
you can
demographic
see
right
it
now.
in the way they're designing it and the way they're marketing it. So I don't think a Livewire was too far off for them to try it out. I just think they did it in the worst way possible.
Well, so here's the thing that kind of confuses me about the splitting off of the Livewire, because honestly, I'm kind of split with no pun intended. I'm split with the decision. You have a brand who, as we've discussed, Harley is pushing to market to that newer, younger crowd, right? They're diversifying their offerings.
Yeah.
So that's what the Pan America is, right? It's hey, let's make something kind of way out there. Let's get some attention on us.
I think the Pan America is less of a stretch for them.
It's less of a stretch.
I think if they had started with the Pan America and then gone Livewire, it'd have been a different story.
Well, so here's the thing.
Because then they could have proven that they can do something that's outside of what they normally do.
But it wouldn't be so far of a jump.
Right.
We'd do some baby stepping.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. If Harley is trying to go for a younger crowd, granted, the Livewire, it's too expensive for a younger crowd. The demographic for a younger crowd right now is your pricing model has to really make sense.
They don't care about the brand name. They care about what the value
They care
for
about
money.
what they're getting. Right.
Value for money.
So if Harley is trying to push to a new crowd, why are you going to break off one of the things that is differentiating you from the rest of the stuff you're making into another brand? So now we're back to all they do.
We talked about this when we were talking about Harleys and their demographic and what most of their money now. They could stop selling motorcycles in the U.S. and still, probably pull in about over half of what they're pulling in yearly from just their lifestyle brand. In Asia,
good God,
in Asia, they don't sell that many motorcycles. There's a huge used market over there,
right?
But they sell a ton of lifestyle products, shirts, branded stuff.
Why do people buy it if they don't?
Because that's the style. And then you see a lot of used, especially in places like Japan,
right?
You see this crazy resto mod.
We all know Harley-Davidson does the
old Harley-Davidsons and stuff, but they have to be a certain CC, so it's usually really old ones, and they'll pimp them out and stuff like that. But it's all about.
So you have the people buying the merch because it's popular to buy an old Harley, even if they don't have any interest in doing that. They still want to.
Yeah. So now they're realizing that can't carry them through.
Yeah.
They have to. And you could see that with the Pan America. You could see that they were okay, we just watched Indian come out of nowhere.
Right.
And
like a wrecking ball. Indian
Scout
came in.
started with the Scout, which did fantastically overseas,
Mm-hmm.
and is starting to do very well here. And then just like bram right through the new Chieftain, the new Chief, the Challenger, all of these new bikes that they have been pushing out,
right,
which have a really heavy focus in engineering.
Yeah.
Like the fit and finish is not as good as a Harley. I can tell you that right now.
Really?
Not as good. Like when you
that's a lot coming from you because you've been
100%. Well,
hard.
they've spent 10 years making softtails,
Yeah.
or like 10 plus years making softtails. So they've had enough time. The R&D is already paid for the engine, so it's like
let's use it up.
It's like they do a real good job in fit and finish. It's not saying that the Indians are bad. It's just that Harley-Davidson has put a lot more time and effort into that. So like the fit and finish is good,
right? But yeah,
like you come into a process of trying to do new things. Mm-hmm. Because it's a direct answer to the market changing and younger people not giving a shit about what the badge on the side of the bike says.
Yeah.
Because most people I talk to that are my age or younger that are riding, they do not care what is on the side of that motorcycle. What does it do? How does it do it?
How much does it cost?
And how much does it cost?
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, though, that eventually, when that trickles into the market, is going to make manufacturers have to focus on making things cost effective. Yeah, which is going to be fucking great for us.
That's why I got so excited about Indian, is because it was like, here's a middleweight cruiser. Yes, it's more expensive than a middleweight sport bike, but it was like rear cylinder deactivation, ride modes, like all the these technological advancements that like you would look for, and when you compare it to a similarly priced motorcycle, it's more value for money.
Well, so this is something that was huge in Yamaha's R7 launch. I think I was talking to you guys
100%.
about their press release. We didn't really get into it like in the video.
That is value for money.
So they did market research and made the motorcycle for not only for the customer what they can afford, but what they want the bike for. Like they literally took a motorcycle, the R6, and were like, okay, how much does it cost? Oh, it's really expensive.
Yeah.
An R6 before, they got rid of was more expensive than an MT10.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys can see behind me. The MT10, 10 minutes? Oh my God, 8 minutes. Oh my God. Yeah, so an R6 was more expensive than an MT10.
Yeah.
In no universe, Marvel, DC, or otherwise, should an MT10 be cheaper to buy brand new than an R6?
But the fact that it is means you're getting more value for money out of that MT10.
Exactly.
Value for money for that R6.
Way less. So they take it to a drawing board. They're like, okay, people never use the top end unless they're on a track.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Which is going, like what, 70% of the people that buy an R6 aren't going to use the top end, which is where all the power is.
Yeah.
So let's make a motorcycle that has power where people can actually get to it.
Yeah.
And let's still give them the super cool looking motorcycle. So like value for money, bro. R6
I think that's
versus
what
R7
killed
is
the Livewire. Like I said earlier, I think that's one of the things that killed the Livewire, because it was like the range.
There's no value in the brand.
Right. There's no value in it because there are other motorcycles that are doing it
better for cheaper.
I mean, yes. They tried to do a Harley tax on a bike that didn't need it. If they took that Harley badge off of it and it was its own brand, they could have put that value down a little bit lower. You would have got more value for money, and they wouldn't be paying the Harley tax, which is like, here's the badge on the side of it.
So one of the things the article...
But then you think about the Pan America, that Harley badge on it, and that is a shit ton of value for money.
Well, one of the things the article talked about with the Livewire is that it's a halo motorcycle, meaning you're going to put a motorcycle out just to get a lot of attention on your brand and that style of motorcycle for your brand. Ideally, you sell a few of them, but honestly, it's a marketing play to get people interested. And then from that, you sell a few and you start getting the price to where it actually should be. I think the problem is it was Harley that made it. Yeah. Like you're talking about,
it's the badge. It's the badge on the side of it. That was their biggest mistake, because they priced it in a position where they're using their name to get it out there, and people that are buying EVs don't give a crap about the name. Generally speaking, there are people out there that are like, oh, Tesla's the only one that matters.
You better tread lightly, Bo.
No, son, there's so many others out there that are better value for money and still are operating under the same thing. So there is some of that, but like Livewire could have been a great thing, and I would have even accepted lower like capacity and range if the price was in the right spot. You know what I mean? Like getting 200 miles on a charge and taking 45 minutes to full charge doesn't matter if I'm paying $8,000 for it or $7,000. You know what I mean?
But it was like 35.
It was like 35 grand, and I'm like, no,
bro. Oh, so fun fact: I have to say there was a Zero up at Mountain yesterday. If it's still there, because it's their sport bike one.
Oh, really?
I have not got to ride it.
That's a weird one.
I am super excited. I shouldn't be. It's not going to be there on next Tuesday when I want to go in. But like Zero's killing it. I love this. I wish I had contacted Zero because I would rep their stuff so hard. But it's interesting to see the market right now. If you go to my screen real quick, Bo, can we do that? Is that still available?
Yep.
So this is the branding for Livewire for you guys. I guess it's supposed to have like an L here and a W.
No, the L is the inside. Yeah, I think that, and then
that's the
W.
L, and then this is W. Livewire. This is the Livewire, which is another thing the article brought up. So, like, is the Livewire going to be called Livewire now? Because it'll be called the Livewire.
I would imagine they'll give it model names like X and SR.
So here's one of the interesting things that this article is talking about. Livewire is going to be putting out a new model July 8th. So I don't know what July 8th is, but I can promise you that the Thursday after the July 8th, I'm pretty sure I know what
we're talking about.
I know what we're going to be talking about. So
I love the way this looks, by the way.
Well, let me bring up the.
Did you ever see the Harley Street 750s?
No.
It has like that same kind of vibe.
So here's what the normal Livewire looks like.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the look of it, man.
My God, give me a big. What is happening? Oh my God! All right,
bud.
All right. You don't deserve anything I'm giving you right now. I'm trying to show you guys images of this, and it's just not. There we go. Check that thing out.
I think it looks great.
No,
you got had
again.
Double had.
Honestly, dude, I think the bike looks cool.
Yeah,
I'm here for the looks.
Yeah,
and I'm one of those super vain people.
So just so you can see it. In another window, look for the Harley-Davidson Street 750, and you'll see where this kind of like falls in line with the way that it looks.
Street 750.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
Do you see how it kind of has? This was a bike they tried that had that kind of more sporty look.
All right, we'll do this. We'll do Street 750.
Yeah.
Livewire.
So this is more like the sport bike version of it, but you can see the way that the tank kind of goes in.
Oh, this line.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see this.
That's why I dig it, because I really liked the way the Street 750 looks. Incidentally, they use the Street 750 a lot in flat track.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it also didn't sell well because Harley-Davidson boomers.
Right. If I'm going to be honest, I think the Livewire might be one of the cooler looking. The only electric bike I think that looks cooler than this is Zero's.
Oh, that new one?
I'm not super familiar with the brand, so I need to jump on their website real quick. That one, the Naked.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Is it the SR?
I like the way the Livewire works, and I hope that they can get.
This is the only better looking motorcycle that's electric to me than the Livewire. That versus that. So let's get a.
I don't know, man.
No, I realize that this is going to be. Some people are going to be one way. Some people are going to be other. That's fine.
I personally.
You seem like more of a Livewire guy anyway.
Personally, and it's not my style of bike, either one of them, but I lean towards the Livewire. It reminds me of the Arch motorcycles.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's got that kind of like.
If I'm going to be honest, you seem like more of a Livewire guy anyway.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. I hope that this is the beginning of them realizing that they can't sell on name alone.
Hopefully. I mean, you have smarter brands.
Is there any word on whether or not they're adjusting the price on this?
No, I think we because like this whole like splitting
this'll
off
be
is-
fun.
I know the whole splitting off is pretty brand new, so we
Yeah.
don't really know. I don't think much at all. The Zero looks like a Grom.
Thank you. Yes,
Dude, what's wrong with Groms? Groms look dope.
man.
I think this bike's so cool. If I'm gonna be honest, I legitimately considered getting one of these instead of the MT10. Not even gonna lie. I was like, bro, having that riding it to work every day would be plush.
Yeah, you don't have a 45-minute drive, so
Yeah, true.
I'd have to charge it here and at home.
Exactly. You see, that's where I'm lost. I can't really do that.
No, we didn't get to get to our last.
We didn't. We'll save it. We'll talk about some Triumph stuff another time. It was kind of like a tertiary topic anyway.
Yeah.
So
Those are the two ones that we really wanted to touch on.
yeah, we can jump back to the cameras now. So yeah, that's all we really wanted to hit on, guys. Do you want to? Can you check Discord real quick and see what we got?
I
going on over there?
I already sent you the fucking winner.
Oh, is there a winner already?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, hold on, wait. If it's on Discord now, I can show it on my screen.
Yes. So I also sent you the link.
Yes.
I sent you
Oh
the link.
no. Hold on.
So the question was,
Oh,
the
my
image is
God.
great. So if you want that one to win, that's fine. That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's so good. Whoever that is, you win. $50 Revzilla gift card goes to you. Well played, sir. I
The
don't know how to leave.
Bearcat.
The Bearcat. Good job, Bearcat.
Yep.
That's
I'll be
awesome.
sending you a message here in just a moment.
That's so great. So guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us on Live on Tools this week. This is week 15. We are on our way to 20 plus episodes. Guys, by the way, the podcast numbers for this are so awesome.
Yeah.
Like they are growing. They don't like one doesn't do way better than the other ones. They all are like growing together and like watching them
It's a
grow.
very linear growth, and I'm digging it.
I am so proud of how much you guys are like supporting the show. We freaking love it, and the more you guys love it, the more we're gonna do
I
it.
think Paul M is in Australia.
Paul M.
He's
Oh.
sending a message from Australia.
All right, guys. So that's it for us. If you're watching here live, make sure to hit the like button on the video. If you're listening to this, make sure to give it a rating over on Apple Podcast. I don't think they have rating systems on Google Podcast or on Spotify yet. So it's only for the Apple guys, but super appreciate it, guys. We have some awesome stuff planned for not only this show, but for the Discord stuff. We've what is it? We've crested the circle. We can see the glowing goal at the end, and we're getting there. So we've got some really cool stuff planned, and we really appreciate all the support, guys. And let's all chat over on the Discord channel.
Yeah, bud.
Looking forward to hanging out with you guys over there throughout the week, and maybe we can start like doing stuff over there, figuring out like what we're going to talk about the following week and stuff like that. We love you guys long time, and we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, here on YouTube or whenever we post the live show, which, since Bo hit the record button the entire time this time, do you want to tell people what you did, Bo?
No.
Tell people what you did.
No, because if they can't tell, then
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. At some point in the last episode.
Oh, no, that's let's play the game.
Yeah,
Let's play the game.
At some point in the last episode,
The Yami Noob episode,
the Yami
in
Noob
case they don't know.
episode, part of that podcast, if you go over to the podcast and you listen to it,
Yeah,
part of that podcast is ripped from YouTube.
because
Well, I didn't hit the record button. It happens
So,
sometimes. Look,
okay,
I'm only human. But then another part, the rest of it is from the record.
okay, so here's the game. Guys. Go and listen to the podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, or Apple Podcast. And let us know over on the Discord what timestamp you think it went from YouTube downloaded audio to our recorded audio. I will love if they can find out, because honestly, I've listened to it. I don't think people are going to be able to tell.
Yeah.
But
That's what happens when you have the audio guy. Yeah, I may screw it up every once in a while,
but it's still going to sound good.
I'll fix it in post.
I'll fix it in post. That's a statement you never want to
Yep.
make. All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you next week. Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.